Yede bramo ewia prem to bring emu. Enyumakwe wa mwada roma na aswasene ama yede kasebui eba. Eye this way chocolate drink de uhia nsuo hye. Ewia uhia nsuo hye kakra. Uhia ice cubes kakra. Eti nsuo hye de ode be na ne this way no na afei wo de ice cubes no agum. Ekoye pa na apɛ brodo a ehye a ye free phone no mu a ekokama ana wunya paaya eno so yede free oven anasa funu no mu ba ye ne nkyeye ne so bekọ kama paa de amaw ya was special ice mineral water and ye wo special drinks ni mienu ne kobom ebre bi a wo che de ama adehye bi o ma ba wo nkyɛn anasa dwuma bi a wo die no wo hia ni mienu wo che nsuo de ma o makọ aba no na wo de special drinks ne ma wo manom adwodwo wo mobo se de be ya ensem a mo be ka dwuma mo be die ne be kɔ yie kama Echina nyame ya adomo eye ya wada nkwada no dodo no na ema kwan me pache awade eya afa bi ma nkwada no mo mfa nko school esanse ya wa ahodo ombetimi de anka de no akọ tangerine de no na ye ka ekire kama eya amom try bi hwe eye grapes anase apple de no a eno so be koyie pa obu opede mu ehyehye kakra eno ye de akakaduro na aye eno so ekoyie eya na mo de ama nkwada no opanyini so betimi anom bi ya wa best point savings and loans a usika semunti ono nesesa wo de wo ho ebo no enei se wo po obi obegina wachi ama bibi to wo a utwa wani pe obeso mu e best point wo de quick loan aba bro nyen mesra wa next week nko a nti ko pe ne o magu store nim se de be ya atofo no mo ba o mbenya ne o ma ne de o mu pe ni nyina bi no ma akọ ba bi foforo eno nti na best point say wo de quick loan aba wo de ba beboa ama wadwuma no ayeyie eno nti da bia na me hye nkran se wa bia wadwuma no aye onkrata asem ye ekoba se ya bosia bo eni mugye no ya na enhyeda enka adwene sa e wo best point enyumakwe ya daroma wa ma na asasene ama ewie kasebu ye de bramo midin e de akosia sapon se mira ensem ni mu e de a Asante hini otumfo oseitutu wono na odi bokonsensem ntokwa a na ekoso ewo ho asumdwe a ye nyina ye hwehwe nti mampanyin hese ye ehre se ebeya ma eye asante hini otumfo oseitutu ene akwaku ahodo omohwe hema asumdwe eba no wo munni animu na wo monhwe ma asumdwe mra boko nyame adom na na oyeteye de ne atwato wo mkohia ye afei report anase ho nsenkan nyina no na esefata se otumfo ede bebre mampanyin enti eyade a enura esi ye ma wode ekoye ni nyina aba bepie ne nsa eno no kire se wo ma sigina ye court no ahye court no ayemu ensemanti empanimfo hyeda tena ase ma wo mu ehwehwe abakosem edi besi se de court nso esi ehye ye no so ni nyina na omukeka bo mu no mutimi sigina ya se de otumfo de asem no hebeto mampanyin anim ene mpanimfo anim no yenkohwe bi
I have been candid with my brother the Nairi that the purported enskinment of Mr. Seydou Abagari as Bokunaba cannot stand. I believe my brother the Nairi has come to terms with the difficulties that will pose to achieving lasting peace, which he desires. I have, from the inception, restrained both governments from effecting the arrest of Mr. Seydou Abagari out of respect for my brother the Nairi. The final resolution of the Bawku matters requires that Mr. Seydou Abagari be recalled to Nalerigu by the Nairi to be reassigned to play another traditional role at the palace of the Nairi assisted by the state. Alternatively, he may choose to stay in Bawku as an ordinary citizen of the community, but not to pose as Bokunaba. The final recommendation, Mr. President, I recommend that my brother the Nairi accepts the laws as presently constituting Sigri Abugrabu Azoka as the chief of Bawku and head chief of the Kusasi traditional area. We chiefs, no matter how exalted, do not live above the Constitution of Ghana and the laws duly enacted and affirmed by the courts. Accordingly, the laws which recognizes Sigri Abugrabu Azoka must be enforced by the government of the Republic of Ghana until change in accordance with the 1992 Constitution or reviewed by the Supreme Court of Ghana. The government must enforce the laws and deal sternly with any person challenging the lawful authority of the Abugra Azoka This is critical to the restoration and maintenance of peace in Kusasi traditional area. I wish to thank you, Mr. President, and your predecessor for reposing such confidence in me and tasking me with the mediation of this conflict with a view to finding a lasting solution. I also want to thank the Nairi and the Bokunaba for their efforts relative to this mediation process. The various chiefs or heads of various communities whom I met in the area who also participated in this endeavor deserve positive commendation. I have come to the conclusion that the path to a lasting resolution coincides with the enforcement of the current position of the law by the laws of Ghana and by the Constitution enacted in 1992 and by the position of the Supreme Court that the matter should never be litigated before it again, as Sigri Ebugrago Azoka is the lawful chief of Bawku and the paramount chief of Kusasi traditional area. He has been a member of the National House of Chiefs for about 40 years. He has been saved through a judicial and constitutional recognized process, and which, as already indicated, appears, if any, a review of the pronouncement of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Ghana, stated herein. If the pronouncement of the Supreme Court appears not clear enough, remedy may be sought, if available, for clarification of the same by the Supreme Court. Either way, Bawku and its environs will be assured of sustainable and enduring peace.
Na abra otumfo kasawie no na mampanyin saka nkrata no a ekire se wo mawie bibia ne recommendations ana broni befre no sa recommendation no se anamon esese wo mutuo wo sese ginaye a wo mu esi no eno na mampanyin de tu dwa sese wo mu ba beto aso de afri ba bi otumfo wo de esi no eno ne reconciliation eno ne se wo mu kohwa afane mienu na wo mu atena se amanka bomu aba ebia na obi tia obi na so abra na nteme ho ase esi no ese se omutumi kana asodwe ba wo eho enti mampanyin eda otumfo asese wa ya de papa obeda na se se onya abotre wo nsem hu tieye na wo mu asiginaye wo ho de aka ni nyina no wono so ene na pamfo ebetena se na wo matoa so e de afri wo se de be ya omamu ni nyina no ye benya asodwe e de afri boko.
Today, I'm pleased that we have come to the end of that journey, and we're embarking on the next leg of the journey. And as he himself said, this was not an arbitration. An arbitration normally will make an award on who is right and who is wrong. This was a mediation, and the next leg of the journey is to reconcile our two brothers and sisters from the Kusasi and the Mamprosi side. This conflict is not winnable militarily. No side can vanquish the other. Bawku is important to us because it is in the extreme northeast corner of our country. And we all know what is happening just across the border from Bawku. In all the national security reports that I receive, there is urgency put on settling and bringing peace to Bawku so that we can safeguard our whole northern border from the terrorist armed groups that are operating in our northern neighbor, Burkina Faso. And so the end of this mediation gives us the opportunity to see what the way forward is in terms of bringing peace and calm. Bawku has the potential to be one of the most vibrant commercial centers in our country, and indeed it has been a center of trade. And a lot of people in Bawku have prospered, whether they are Mamprosis or they are Kusasis. Unfortunately, this conflict has turned the fortunes of Bawku. Teachers refuse to be posted there, doctors refuse to be posted there, civil servants are leaving. They're posting national servicemen and women to Bawku because we cannot guarantee their safety. And so I'm pleased that Otumfo's mediation has come to an end and that he has presented a report. And I can assure him that government would look at this report, and within the next 24 hours, government will issue a statement. on its definitive position on the report. But it's my hope that the National Peace Council, the House of Chiefs, and Otumfuo himself, and all the religious bodies would go the next step.
Enchaye ena mampanyi John Dramani Mahama eko juma bia eno eye ebibrem ha sei ye ka atoye FM ewo ebibrem ha sei a okohia aman mpanimfo na summit nase no mpanimfo nyina si gina ye se edru ECOWAS so se womo ebenyi omo panyini baako na chese mampanyi baako a owo ebibrem atoye ha obekọ no akwakoye chairman ewo AU African Union ebibiman nyina no wono ene wokọ akotenem se dwemtenani na womo hwedin no omo nyina de womo no atum se mampanyi John Dramani Mahama wono na ose fata se ye de sa dibre no bema no eya afempino ne aduonu nson 2027 na eno ena mampanyi so ate ho kire ye se nyame ya adom na ebre ne so na ye yi ne se dwemtenani a enipa baako a wo tepe no akasa enipa no na dwuma ye ene na dwene a okura ewo ebibrem ha sei eba edwadie mu empuntuo ne nyoma bi etete saa eye owura alanchemanten na woka asasem no ena enam so ama onumunyamfo okujeto ablakwa dwumadie soronko ekoso wonkran ha no wode atu edwa echese mampanyi nim ne dwuma a wadie ewo ebibrem ha eninti ne bre nyina no enye kwa mampanyi abonidin anasa wate ho hede akire enti se de etie bia no panyi no hono so ebeye adwuma bibrem ha nyina no se de ebeye beboa amane ye hwehwe empuntuo se Ghana beji ne din ewo aman ahodo so edwade bekoso empuntuo bekoso ye benya mfaso de free aman ahodo so no ono so beka ho bi amana akosa.
We had very, very good news over the weekend from ECOWAS. All the West African presidents endorsed him as the next African Union chairperson in 2027. So this convening, it's very timely and very fortuitous. And he will be looking forward to the report so that he can hit the ground running in 2027 when he becomes the chairperson of the African Union. And he has asked me to tell our convener, the Honorable John Alan Kwejo-Tramantin, that he will have a very special place when he becomes AU chairperson because of the work he is doing. So we are definitely going to need the expertise, the experience, and this very reputable organization the Honorable John Alan Kwejo-Tramantin has put together as Ghana prepares to assume the leadership of the African Union. This inaugural African Summit provides a timely and critical platform for thought leadership, frank dialogue, and consensus building. The true measure of the success of the summit will lie not in the eloquence of our speeches, but in the effectiveness of the actions that follow. Not the significance of the theme of the summit, building a united Africa. The operative word is building. We are not merely to discuss, to debate, or to dream. We are here to build. We are here to work. We are here to move from dialogue to implementation, from vision to action. Over the next 2 days, you will engage in critical discussions on establishing the African Central Bank and adopting a common currency, developing a new governance architecture for the African Union, strengthening the African Parliament and the African Court of Justice, establishing the African High Command, and implementing Africa Continental Free Trade Area at the national level. These are the building blocks of the united Africa we seek. Each represents a concrete step toward greater integration, interdependence, and interconnectedness. Under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Ghana will continue to champion policies that promote intra-Africa trade, industrialization, regional value chains, and the free movement of people, goods, services, and capital.
Sa jumaya ekosi African Summit ekoso ewo Ghana memu ha enkramantem ha sei na eno eye Center for Strategic African Development opanyina ono na oye summit no eche oye dwemtene ni masa dwumadie ya ono anso ne kofabai eye owura Alan Chemantin opanyin kasa mu no no kyerese se ohwe enipa apemu a wo mu free aman ahodo so aba be hia mu yi a ni nyina no kyerese ebibrem ha sei no ye pese ye kan ye hu ebom unity ni ye baako se ye baako a obi ani wo obetumi ne yakon se ye adwadiem se ye apomuden se ye de ben obi ani wo obetumi ne yakon ewo ho na ogidi se abra dwumai eye nnefua mienu no de ye hebekọ na wiye no na ne ye hwehwe ene ani so ade hunu adwempo a edi mpuntu obeba no ye nsa tumi aka.
This gathering is more than a diplomatic gathering or a gathering of convenience. It is a symbolic turning point for Africa and its role in global leadership. As the name suggests, this summit is about Africa. As Africans, we all know what we want and why we want it. The challenge is how we go about getting what we want. From the founding fathers of the Organization of African Unity, OAU, through to successive leaders of the African Union, AU, the clarion call has always been, Africa must unite. It has, however, taken us a very long time to realize that this is not going to happen by chance. Africa will not integrate by itself. Our integration must be engineered carefully, strategically, tactically, and intentionally. The time has now come for us as Africans to take critical steps to fill the gaps between what is necessary and what is sufficient. This will require visionary, bold, and selfless leadership at both the continental level and at the level of member states. Can we imagine the combined strength and resources of all 55 states in a real concrete continental union? Can we imagine that? Africa must wake up now and take its rightful place in the world, or forever remain marginalized and forgotten among the community of nations. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not the first gathering at which the subject of continental integration is being discussed, and it will not be the last. But in this summit, we are going to put our foot on the pedal with all the strengths that we can command to accelerate, intensify, and optimize our efforts at building a truly united Africa.
Accra continues to be the Pan-African city that serves our Pan-African vision and the favored destination for many due to its beauty and hospitality. We are grateful for this. This summit is our platform to rally around a collective vision. It is time to implement policy, accelerate economic integration, and position Africa as the next frontier of global power. Let us leave Accra with not just renewed hope, but with actionable commitments to the 8 pillars of our transformation. Let us design deliberately the future we want for Africa, by Africans, and in partnership with all who understand the urgency of this moment.
Enkane Mashe Bejania no wo Ebuakwa South constituency eye onwanyafo Samuel Atachia na ene UTV so ade chensroma bra abna chebu achitena edwemu no wona ne twetwe nkomo na ensam no wo mudi nkomo bebre kwa ekodru baabi na abna bisa ne se die ntina one onwanyafo Kennedy e Japan wanko kan campaign no ho no se said the opinion in your my bin in any year biti and one pet and uti and one could dinach.
Yamin ni penny main can't cross it me can or he Japan our problem. No one. Name mom and penny dear no and yama baby near the year. We slow papa na come. We slow say Yami and we a mobile cry obey me and be or cabinet. Yes. Papa no me akoma.
How well do you know him?
I know him like this.
We made.
They say the temperament. And then maybe cry a bit to me as parliament, no, and the pictures, no. Only call for and talk. And now, we be no other castle can. And Yabotre, na yen fan koboko, onum. We see a jomuna, Nenia Mepie. Atia, ye conto qua demon, onumo. And now what TV made program so. But cross and ne crowd easy for and then come our own deal on person we are dealing. At the end I start here no. They say send your money in and you know correct. Or war on agents or you be no one yeah MPP yeah there no the person we are about me. Obi no person or what's a plan and mobi. Obi how can agent or we cry chebi. Na ka de chebi de kan ka mi ko wie gumu chebi na agent ni o eti mama ya careful
and the temperament ni ade wujina so aka say
of course we say the temperament of a president you be all shock absorbers they catch ro and you be a obi live say na de onu obi wasem no nyakora oni ne be kontokwa and den and na yes me classmate say ka make say and me so me di na chi na on chief of staff from very chairman there be a medui then na utumlet me aka say ene de unya akra obeyi obi e wo dom afedi yenim
also obeyi obi
oh yeah so obeyi obi caustic language insulting behaviors free opening ba show man so I think them feel say you pay to me e be a poor man so a businessman onye business kasi pa na say we are combining competence, temperament, intellectual prowess, vision. That's all. I'm here with him.
Osofo abedi akire a wono na ehwe enwuma ne afisem so ensuwa ono anso na ye emrahye bedwani wa wutu senya West constituency onumonyamfo Gizela Tete Gutui na mepamocho wode atu edwa a wo hye enkran we embebunu na wo hye wo nkran aka kire mo se wo ye babunu na afekra na wasi so a ne nkebeye ne se wo beje entiteye wo benyansan no adwuma bi sansan no adwuma no ebetimi aboa momani mputua contententempa na wo babunu kro no so no enya de abetene fie na wo betena sansansa na emom nso wo bibiye ne wo ye no na ebeboa oman no.
Since the year 2021, I'm able to the environment, and who say, skills training, but only individually. The number of people who are interested, there are one or two reasons. It's almost to inform Asian. So we decided to do a program called Asumiapa. Then one, Yakasamo Asumiapa is a good work. Asumiapa, youth baby, it's about good work. Madam Gisela, any NDC, the program, IFN Asumiapa. So in the Yabe, graduation for 45 young ladies and young men. If you are catering, it's only a cake, pastries, baking, any other. And if you must see at the pump, any decor, any hats, and every so extra hairdressing. So every time what we do is say, masters are more cool. Maybe it was our program. We see about apprentice. We teach apprentice how to do the trader. It is a national apprenticeship program. And see, that's what we are doing over here.
45. No between our graduates. We come on, I think so far. But that's 100. we to Midday and wash here as we are panel. And
Jumadia Shronku bi akoso we ye Goga Awards. We no na wo share one more oil and gas mu. Eno nam so ama ministry wo mo share energy and green transition so technical advisor wo ho Dr. Yusuf Suleiman Abra wo kasa no na wo chese enei se ye pese Ghana ye sika sem tumi gina ne naso a na esefata se sa green transition no empo wo ho ehun asem wo ho ehun asem ni wo se etimi eni betumi bia se de be ye bema ye begina ye na so ye nka ne asem begina ne na so eno bebo am ye sika asem so agina ne na so a opanyin de ensem yi tu dwa e wo dwumadie no ase.
Excellence, innovation, and a tireless commitment of the men and women who power Ghana's oil and gas sector for national growth and transformation. As regulators, we recognize the vital role each organization gathered here tonight plays along the value chain in strengthening industry standards, promoting health and safety, and driving sustainable growth. The NPA remains committed to fostering a transparent, competitive, and resilient downstream petroleum industry, one that supports national development and creates lasting value for all Ghanaians. We applaud the organizers, the partners, and the stakeholders whose dedication continues to elevate the petroleum sector. On behalf of the governing board, the chief executive, the management and staff of the National Petroleum Authority, I congratulate all nominees and award winners. Your contributions are not only shaping the industry today, but paving the way for a stronger energy future.
Award ya be award ama industry, oil and gas industry no. I recognize it and as someone who adwuma pa Petroleum Commission the aboa oil and gas industry no. Now share for the past year under the leadership of our CEO, Mr. Mifaha Castro, we are changing regulatory environment, improve level of activity in the industry. For the past 1 year now, we have seen quite a turnaround of level of activity in the industry. Even though we still have challenge, but we are who say the interest of the major oil and gas companies, in the sector, are increasing. They say the normal to you improve the regulatory environment, you enhance a fiscal regime, now you bring certainty and predictability in our regulations and legislative framework. And to say our HS, Petroleum Commission, industry Ghana for who, as you say, the Petroleum Commission is turning out the industry for growth and prosperity.
Kwa atoye mantamu a ye nyina mo a motashe pa yi no ye de ensem bi eto ya manebofo eto ye nkra e ma mo so moni adi akira awofo a wonum eba ene Pius Nkrumah abemu e wanya mfinhye dunan etututu obi ekoso e ma etuo na kokan wonum ba evie dunan na manato anananom wonsie do na eno ana awofo emienu eka ede akire mpanimfo se womunhwe no muntu hu anamon fama wo mo ekwan ye fa so e ma etuo kan wono ba no ehia sempanimfo ebehwe na wono aka ho asem Madam Charlotte Asua ene teacher Ade na wo mo akasa wo mo echese wo mo sempanimfo ada se wo mo nka bibi emfa ho anase anamo bi entu wo muntu anamo bi mfa ho na nipa kro anase nua wo mo enam wo mo nsa yosoma wo mo ba no free mu no yetimi ahwe asotwe de se de ma wo mo no ye de ama wo mo
asem de esi na me ho me abafra me am ba am timi na no market ha Saturday na mtera na no pa no abafra no pa de Saturday no mahu na wo nti mo ha na me say ya say na nkofo keke mba mo ba no mo ba na se ju ha na iska ma oba no mo abuntuo ana me so tim na me hwe form na ta de mission na do hu na ne ba na tuma ko do ti mutu so no ko e do ga fete ne ko hospital nti ho na me se hwe moto nsuma akọ na ko hwe ba na me tumi na ha nti eju pese he wa na me papa ni so osu na me bi kana say abafa me wo ho na me hwe form na ta de mission the police in by be on so kasa no so na go mo so ni di oye na oye ntana do fam ni ofi ha ye koye no mo so nse ye hwe ka nko ade ye biara wa pa nti ye hwe ka na ye nko because the family tires nkoma ni fi di ni nkoma na bofo di tires aka when you are 14 years maka cha ba nti fo se won hwe na won ka asem no hu ndi hu ye hina ye ko no sisi asem no ye hina na o yin ba no nsia na ye hina ye ko na isi emisu na suntwa na wo moa me bibia ho
yo kakra wa na say de we sim ye aye hina ya because our 14 years sisi awa free mo intini aye kan na say aban omo modern say obema justice aye dwuma pepe na aye dwuma because ono waku no oba be ye na dwuma apeni sika akọ na sisi waku akwara no ya ama abusua no ya hwere ade kase
o mu say site for ya ba ya saka wo de ba afu wa kire wo ma ne kọ ho ne ade nti anapa ne ya say baby e ko faja o kita shabo o kita hwe o ko faja nti mu ho na okoye no ma alok bari am na ono mu gu su kikikiki no se sare a be fe ne bla nti oba fie na oba fe ne bla na ne bla okoye mu ho na budosu na anti ase na okoye tututo ye ho de bullet be 500 cc e ko so ho ama boy no kra oba fe ne kra ne nan o ko mu sisi a ne nan e bullet nti mu ho na nkwala no se aben committee ni nkwala ni kikekike no na omo ko do hwe ba bi omo group na asem ne ko so na akwala na ofiri mu de ne egina falawe nti mu wana bullet no epege atuo na ode ma akwala no na obo no to fonte etuo no ba ku gu ha ba ku gu yem so ne de before say den bakwa de no afiri mu ha di anu mu na me pie na me frɛ principal azim no ba
esi ayatia na bude sipo ababoye asoje fo ababoye afosi fo ababoye nti ya sa mo breast obusu nti omo gyangyane esi aka ya hwe mesi afɔnkote nti mo aye ma asem ne suntwa.
National Premix Administrator Ora Ebo Mensa na opanyi etu anamon akopie mu ewo atoye mantamu odinani akọ landing beaches ahodo ewo ho no na yeka Premix fuel a eno na afarefo no wo edigu wo koduo mu edekọ epo na wodekọ yinam eba na no no ka kire mo se wo ha mu chichemu aduonu miensa a wo enya edi free ho no wo ede ye nneoma ahodo ebi ya womesua apomuden na kyese wo de so asene eboa sede ebe ya wo manfo benya mfaso ede afri hu enti eno no eduru saa eni kwanse ye sei sika no na sei sika no ye ntimi mu nkonta papa bia ewo ho nti opanyin kyerɛ sɛ de esese wo de sei sika no ye no wo de be ye ne saa pepepe
na Premix no wotona mfaso obam oyede wo keep nemu 53% na wode ye mpuntudwuma awo mana wo mu in the program ayebeye no yebehwe Premix awaba new takrade and the amount of funds are accumulate in terms of deductions for the community development. But I think I've been very impressed with the new Takrade landing beach. We received 11 consignments this year, and each of the 11 consignments we keep 5,300 cedis. That's 53% of the proceeds for the community. Now the miske is KBA or the Oman and district assembly and Farafon will meet na washe mpuntuduma obotu mozaye or cut across in Yama Bebre or to me health projects, maybe CHIPS compound, another clinic, another education,
baby I'm a con me when there was the sea school. Baby so her be when there. I think I went to one community there, war premix community development fund. Where they see the only dining hall in that school. So imagine there, premix no home for today in your. I mean, these communities would have had some development dividends.
You are John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency. Wamayata said a reset country. No? There should be transparency and accountability. Into no 1 year crowd, once someone Sikasam and a one contributing ya pepe, or Sunday, ya from the one brand boom conte. Nanso in the Wamba. Na why and she said what you can't think Baba what I bread Amanoni MC. There you true. Ya you wanna call ya mo and wafa and Brokondo na we boom conte. I mean, now we in this kind of one year or a second affair for community no one dia. When you Panoa, when we be Araka, when you be Ampa, obey one we. One can in Nara so the Mujumizini Yaran or they you too. Yeah, in collaboration with the MC, you two Yashana, yeah.
Painful about young Quinta Moti and I descending them painful about button. One my premise no why one I'm a fair for one so one heart on. That my main oil fisheries minister on yan better that and son what the premise in Bashan and son or may a task there. On man no for some 53% no in premix for no. You knew who to me biara. On man no in a war who to on man in a wabach you made that the missing caught them one thing deep. Now, yet the man no who to mean or man sorry and obey the Canadian will be aha our there MC or ya banana sina or wahade no sabim or you to me the ampa the missike won't find them until it's a or what's a kind of
Bronya ba eno nti uba baby ti se La Pasa ana edwa hodo no mu a adaje ni posokra na ubepiem e wo La Pasa adehye wo ho a wo mudi dwa no nso kire se de ayeyi e wo se wo mutumi ehwe no osiesie ho se de be ya bronya ne die no ebekọ yie eno nti wo musoso etu anamon e wo ho UTV kopiem wo ho a ye ne wo mu edi enkomo na o chese minister oda local government ano wahye se baabi a woton ade baabi a wote no e wo se utimi hwe na osiesie ho yie se de be ya ahunidie wo nsem no ye nyina na ye ya ebe ye yie eti o so be ye o mu afemudie
e de bi siesie last week Saturday kurampon ye siesie prapra ye na ndro nso kitu bi atoye no efi bola ne fi suru sei o ma pia o ma hwie gu nsuo ne mu nti a se de nso to a eta ye teten te se ya hwe se ya hwe a enko te se ya hwe a ye ya soro ne ya hwe ye se ndro nso na to ye na push bola o mu di bola be gu mu ana ni na beta no ko tan pe be ba ya pra beta na ba bola ka na mba sana ma ye ntumi am pranse sana
pra right ba na ha e fi matom pon a on de pon a o pra some de ba say bi sa so anke be be betuma boa betuma hwe na o ma siesie na ka ha so betuma e kama ban ba kwa twem ko no o mu ye bi say ana pa no obi am bi store up to be say 10 no my 10 to 12 nti mo ba me
bu o so be se egu asa aka no so mefa to mo mefa egu asa ti say wo de bottle we bi na wo de akova so na wo de boa to so se de be amframa ne boa emba ye so ko si se ko bi se obi anyi nanim nti on hye dan kan cho mo so de agigya nkrofo se ye hu se wo hwie bola agu mu a ye be chiwa mse no be boa ye e mo ye sa na agtai
o mama ye won si ha o mbetu yen bai o se nipa de ye do so adwene nya baako ebu wa obepra na ni mo bi won so ba ya wo hyedwa so hu nti obia ne send any neatness esitie ye nye night no wo ba na pa no wapra wo kofie nso a obepra obola nti bola ka makra ye de mo kada na etuaka because he ya na edidi
national sanitation no last week I think Saturday no yeah ne MC nankasa na shase a match 5 o'clock ye ko wie ne na ko bo 3 MC nankasa papa no be boa ye ama ye pra ha ni na as you can see wo say ha na kwan no emu da ho space demo chese ha ni na no okay. The middle of the road no share on my adodo ho no ni na yi o aprapra ho ba na metimi aka fa enwura we ni kakra no say passengers and drivers and one more use vehicles no omu twem no mo ko I think say niam bi omu di wo mo ka mu no o say etimi yes nkyerɛkyerɛ yi na nka etimi tɔ masum sɛ bibia na bola bia obeye wo ka mu no ma ne nka wo ka ni mu na udu fi a wayi na sɛ wobɛhye o sɛ wobɛto atwene wetimi ato atwene ba sɛ wo to ato kwan ni mu no I think say there's no one responsible for that say o to nra ne to kwan ni mu a obeba be fa free kwan ni mu de ato ba bi ya ma o de bia ye prahaba every 2 weeks bia ye yesia market no as a sanitation day I the cleaning aseni na sesa bibia edeko every 2 weeks and you know mostly and train crampo ma national sanitation in do na ya kasa asa se and you know yada municipal na say waboa ye.
Honorable Atachia Ebra wone Abnache Ebuache twetwe enkomo wo adekyenstroma so no na wode etu dwa se ye ka candidate a wo mu nyina ejina wo MPP amanyokum no Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia wono na ye de oya ogidi so moto abanama no a ebeboa nti ye ka pa de a wono no onim so obedi nkunim
on nipa enan akai a on person on ne epresu obi eni wa okura experience no ye economist what the omano and munya bebreen ya ono a and then the first time ye benya president or ye economist me pese MPP ye nya edin ho te se ye nya account dominated party
okay
and let's say ba me to atwene a wonu ne be see obi a or ye minority tribe or MPP no they will come to a conclusion oh say party there was some pa na wo do unfair so a the point of meritocracy I better watch it I can't find the use you know ever ni ben obesum MPP Krobo ni ben obesum MPP and Zemani ben obesum MPP ekofo hu baabi a ye kono say ne dankwa nipa abefu bi friends saying buzia enso aba na ye hwe dombofo asefo na aba. Do you know what is about to happen? Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is going to give a national character to this our great party, which will be very good for the future of this nation. Nemom ne ye de kakran se enimu de de okurapa o won ne preso nyina nim so no onum de o ye krogen and then what to send the NDC de corruption o say obi etumi de assembly atwapa no so say no or devise a friend saying president no kata se shebi ne and proye bi be mu ana
afe a lawyer for enkabomu kuo we ye ma lawyer for mu wo ebibrem ha wo mo enkabomu ekuo na wo mo kire se wo mbesre emrahye bedwafo se PNDC law 111 achedodo mfie bebre ni ebaye nti wo mo hwe no mo nye nsa kire emu emfa ma wo mo se de be ya ebegina ne naso yie
ntimi nka se ni bi ni si ne ma no dawson te se ebinum or more than one ebinum so oma esunu wonum maaminum ebinum so nana ya nana num yanka ho asempi sanya ya chiche ade no 316 516 nyamanyama esese ya hwene asesa no ma administration of estates is difficult for Tinyama sa Nyama no dos. I may say assassin but still Nyama be or who I say a shane assassin. I feel na one say one be share na one can say na cry be movie motion yeah train. Na yenso bi ayenso asase ya hwene ya ade kakra ya na parliament aye more engagement kakra de no ache wo ho ache 2009 2008 kra na ya started afede yenhwe 2025 40 years sese yɛhwɛ sese yɛkɔ yɛnim nti yɛpɛ sɛ yɛbua parliament na parliament ahwɛ sɛnea ɔno bɛyɛ what
Adeshima mafe yenyi aboafo nkrato emra se ba agudie mu nsem bongo di fara eno de beto aso amai